So I wanted to kind of like make it smaller so that way you can see the top of the email, but I basically just took a screenshot of it on my phone, and with this situation, just to, if you didn't see the comment, basically Paul tried to steal my script of mine that I was working on for years called Blood Related. A lot of people who know me, people who went to film school with me, I went to NIFA, started the MFA program in fall 2018. A lot of them know I was working on this script while I was there at film school, and basically, I was, to make a long story short, I was manipulated by an ex mentor of mine to hand over the script to Paul, uh, so that way he could be the quote unquote creator. He wouldn't take my name off completely, in which I wouldn't be credited as the creator, even though I had worked on it for years. He wanted to have a written by credit on the pilot that I wrote, and worked on for a very long time. They actually called me in the middle of this is just a very fast version of it, but they, you know, had a former classmate of mine call me in the middle of the night to basically just tell me like, hey, he's gonna take your name off of it, and in exchange, he Paul was supposed to walk it into WB, and we had a very heated discussion because I didn't really want that to happen, but at the time I was thinking like it was a really big opportunity for me. It was be my first show, so that way he could be a showrunner, and yeah, I was like, okay, cool. I mean, I don't really have anything else going on. Not cool, but like, like I didn't have a whole bunch of options, and I was pretty desperate at the time. So, um, I agreed for a producer's credit and an executive's producer's credit, and also this person Anthony, my ex mentor, was in charge of the company called Hot Pot Productions that I worked at the time, and he basically just threatened to fire me and kick me out of the company. So, yeah, I decided that okay, cool, I will, allow him to take my name off it. And his real reasoning behind it was like, oh, I'm going to change so much of the script and so much of the idea that it's not even going to look like the original thing. So I was thinking like, okay, if you're going to change so much of it, why do you have to use mine? Why don't you just create something else? If you're not even going to use one, he said I got to do page one rewrite. I'm not going to use anything from this. So I'm like, okay, why don't you just create something new instead of just stealing my thing? Because Blood Related wasn't even out yet. It wasn't even like it was a big thing. It was being passed around, through Hollywood, but there was nothing like concrete about it. Like, oh, okay, now it's financed and stuff like that. Nothing like that. It was just a script and a deck that was, going through different circles and being shopped around. So, and this is the email that he sent me, where he's like, oh, also, why don't you let me copy and paste your work into this new script I'm gonna make? And I'm like, yo, you just said you're gonna do a page one rewrite. In my mind, I'm like, you said you're just gonna do a page one rewrite. Like, why would you need to do this? Why would I have to take off the watermark then? Luckily, I still own the copyright to it. So apparently he did this. So apparently, I mean, I obviously wasn't there, but and then when I asked, Anthony and everyone else what happened, why didn't it get made? They told me that, oh, Warner Brothers was actually hiring him to do something else, yada yada yada. But another friend of mine was like, no, that's not actually what happened because you still own the copyright. And I was like, yeah, I do. I own the copyright still, so I was like, either it becomes really big and then that's awesome, or he fails kind of. And because I still own the copyright, apparently Warner Brothers. What actually happened was that Warner Brothers was like, no, you can't make this at all. And yeah, I mean, here it is. I'm not going to share his personal email because it's a little far, but yeah,